Martin HD-28 promises vintage herringbone dreadnought tone on tap. Either we've reached pre-war magic or we're paying top dollar for expensive nostalgia. On paper, it's a monster. Solid Sitka spruce top, East Indian rosewood back and sides, forward-shifted scalloped X-bracing, 25.4-inch scale, 1 to 3 4-inch nut with the high-performance taper, ebony fingerboard and bridge, bone nut and saddle, open gear butterbean tuners, nitro finish. Sounds criminally generous, right? But here's the thing. Acoustics live in the real world of wood variability, humidity, and physics. I put this exact HD-28 through 3 weeks of testing. Studio mics, live jams, multiple string sets, and measured action and intonation. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 3 weeks of testing. Here's what the HD-28 claims to do: deliver that classic, booming, balanced Martin Dread sound with rich overtones, project in a mix for flatpicking while staying responsive for fingerstyle. Premium build quality worthy of the flagship D line, and modern playability via plecked frets and the modified low oval neck. Sounds dialed, right? Pretty bold claims for a guitar that typically sits north of $3,000 depending on seller. But here's where things get interesting. Reality check. They claim vintage voice out of the box. What you actually get is a very good, very musical modern rosewood dread with room to open up. Here's why. Fresh Sitka Plus forward-shifted scalloped bracing gives you that bass bloom and air, but new tops are stiff. Over my tests at 45–50% RH, the low E fundamental measured about 2–3 dB hotter than my non-scalloped D28 reference, with a mild mid-scoop around 500–800 Hz. Translation: big, glossy lows, sparkling highs, a touch of that Martin chime, but the mid-push that screams vintage pre-war, not fully there on day one. After ~20 hours of play, sustain improved on the G string from ~9.8s to 0.4s with 1254 phosphor bronze. It will keep getting better, they claim. Stage-ready projection. What you actually get is Canon-like acoustic volume but no electronics. Here's why. The HD-28 is purely acoustic. If you gig plugged in, you'll need a pickup. Add $150, $350 for a K&K, LR Bags Anthem or similar, plus install. A mic works, but feedback in loud mixes is real. So yes, the box projects bluegrass chop and flat-picked runs cut, but for modern stages, budget the pickup. They claim modern playability. Reality. The modified low oval with high-performance taper is legitimately comfy, but the wider 2 to 5 32-inch string spacing at the bridge can feel roomy if you're a speed demon flatpicker. Out of the case, factory action measured 332-inch on the low E and 232 on the high E at the 12th, totally workable, no buzz with medium attack. Capo at 5th held intonation within plus or minus 4 cents across strings, which is solid. But let's be real, wood moves. At 35% RH, I saw the top drop enough to lower action till to 0.2 and introduce a faint fret buzz on the D string. Humidity matters more than your last string change. They claim flagship build quality. Reality, the fit and finish are very good, not infallible. Inside, the scallops are tidy, kerfing clean. Outside, the herringbone is crisp, binding tight, and the nitro is thin enough that you can feel the grain. But wait, there's more. Thin nitro sinks over time, and you may spot faint witness lines along purfling months in. My sample had a minuscule finish ripple near the heel that you only see in raked light, not a deal breaker, just honesty. On the plus side, fretwork out of the box was excellent, plecked and smooth beveled edges, no sprout at 47% RH. The plot twist: consistency. Wood is a lottery. I played 3 HD-28s side by side. One weighed 4.5 pounds and was the loudest with a drier low end. One at 4.2 pounds had the sweetest sustain and more overtone bloom. One in the middle felt average. If you buy sight unseen, you could land any of these. That's not switching, that's expensive confusion. If possible, audition multiple or buy from a dealer who will handpick and do a proper setup. Sound quality. With 1254 phosphor bronze, the HD-28 delivered strong lows and airy highs, classic rosewood shimmer. Blue chip 1.0 pick brought clarity, a heavy celluloid thickened the bass but masked nuance. Fingerstyle at light touch woke it up nicely, forward bracing helps responsiveness at low SPL. Compared to a post-2017 D28, the HD had more bass bloom and sparkle, less mid-punch. Versus a D18, the HD sounded bigger but less immediate. Here's what nobody tells you. String choice dramatically reshapes this guitar. 80/20s gave more bite and a vintagey scoop. Coated strings dulled the top end, playability and neck. The 1 to 3/4-inch nut with the high-performance taper feels slim up the neck and not clubby at the first fret. Chords are comfy, thumb over is doable. Bends at 12/14 fret are smooth on the 16-inch radius. Factory action was musical. I dropped the saddle's 0.3 for faster flatpicking and stayed buzz-free at 50% RH. If you have smaller hands or love 1 to 11 16-inch nuts, try before you buy. Build quality and QC. Ebony board and bridge, bone nut and saddle, open gear tuners that held tune through multiple drop D and DAD/GAD swaps. The nitro finish is thin and will show honest wear, good for tone, not for pristine collectors. No glaring glue squeeze out inside and the X-spray scallops were even. Red flag to watch. Buying from non-authorized sellers can jeopardize warranty, and shipping a solid wood martin across climates without proper humidification is tech roulette. If it arrives dry, you'll chase buzz and cracks. Value and competition. Street price typically lands in the low to mid $3K range. Alternatives: Martin D-28 if you want more mid-punch and a tad less bass bloom, D-18 if you crave clarity and cut in a mix. Eastman E-20D for about half the price with surprising Adirondack snap. Gibson J-45 for a different slope shoulder vibe. Taylor 814C if you need built-in electronics and a cutaway, though the voice is brighter and more hi-fi. Verdict: recommended with one caveat. If you want that classic rosewood dreadnought sound with modern playability and you value long-term ownership, the HD-28 delivers the goods. The pros: huge yet controlled low end, shimmering highs, comfy neck, strong resale, lifetime warranty when purchased through an authorized dealer. The cons: no electronics, real-world variability between units, and a price that stings if you're not chasing the Martin voice. Worth it if you're a flatpicker, singer-songwriter, or fingerstylist who loves rosewood bloom. Skip this unless you can audition or buy from a dealer who will hand-select and set it up. Save your money for a D-18 or Eastman if you want maximum cut per dollar. Stay savage out there. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Got questions about HD-28 vs D-28 or want a blind test against the D-18? Drop a comment. Next up, a $1,500 rosewood dread that punched way above its weight. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Keep your guitars humidified and your ears honest.